Hi, this is Margo. This is Sunday evening, May the 10th, 2020, and I hope everyone is doing as well as possible. And we're going to do a methane update. We're going to do the weekly NOAA methane update tonight, and we also have new data from CAMS for today on methane, and then the other usual daily updates. So we're going to start with some pictures that I've prepared. This is from Climate Reanalyzer from today. This is the 2-meter temperature anomaly map. And we can see that the Arctic is getting some really warm air over it now. It's into this dark brown, which is about 10 degrees Celsius higher than normal. It's almost turning reddish there, and we're still seeing this dark brown come down this whole western coast of North America, and Alaska's covered up with it, and it's spreading east across the United States. And then we have the blue, which is cooler than normal, filling up the rest of North America. So we have these extreme contrasts of really warm and really cool right next to each other, and then Greenland is kind of split like that as well. We've got Russia, a lot of that's in the red. So worldwide we're at 0.5 C higher than normal, so that's going back up. It had gone down this week. The northern hemisphere is up 0.7 C. The Arctic is up 1.5 C. So that's going back up. The tropics are at up 0.5 C. The southern hemisphere is plus 0.3 C. And the Antarctic is up 1.2 C, higher than normal. So here's the flat view. So we can see, except for this blue over the North Atlantic here and North America, and this little part over here in Russia and China, it's all red and brown in the northern hemisphere pretty much. There's a little bit of blue coming down here on western Russia and through the Scandinavian countries, but there's a lot of red and brown there. Here's the precipitation map from today, and the green is rain and the blue is snow. Here's the flat view, and we can see it's snowing, and raining. This band has been hanging around in Russia for the last 2 or 3 days, and it was a little bit further north, but it's still raining up here in northern Russia, and so that's probably going to be releasing a lot of methane once the permafrost melts there some more. And it's also raining down here on this western peninsula in the Antarctic. Here's the jet stream from today. Here's the flat view, and it's very erratic. It looks worse every time I look at it, and so there's no way we can have any kind of normalcy with a jet stream in 2 or 3. That's what it looks like in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere. Here's the sea ice and snow cover from today. I will start showing this now because we're starting to see some melting of the sea ice around the coastlines. And I will start doing some sea ice reports more in detail as we get into the melt season. And here it is for the flat view, and down here we can see it's already come back quite a bit in the Antarctic now that the sun has gone down. Okay, now we're going to look at the NOAA methane data, and this is from yesterday, Saturday the 9th. This is for the 477/469 millibar reading. For the Met-OP1 satellite in the morning, the mean or average was 1,888 parts per billion, and the high reading was 2662. So that's getting on up there. We haven't seen it that high all week. And in the afternoon, the mean was 1888 again, and the high reading was 2370. And on the Met-OP2 satellite in the morning, the mean was 1863, and the high reading was 2322. And in the afternoon, the mean was 1862, and the high reading was 2265. So here's the spreadsheet and the chart that we're looking at. Here it is for the night. And so I put in those numbers and added them up and divided by 4, and the average comes up to 1875.25 parts per billion, which is the same reading as from Saturday, May the 2nd, so there was no change overall from last Saturday the 2nd to yesterday the 9th. So we can see, so it had been going down for starting on April 11th, it had been going down, and then this week it didn't go down anymore. So here we have a straight line. So this is where it had gone up, 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 and now it looks like it's kind of flatlined there. And here's where I'm tracking this on a daily basis. So here are all the readings that we had. Here's from Saturday the 2nd to yesterday the 9th, and we can see that it went down and up and down and up, and then with the reading on Saturday it actually went down 1 part per billion from Friday. So we almost had an increase this week if that had not gone down like that. Here's the sulfur dioxide for the globe today from CAMS. This is total column. So we can see those really high levels have all dissipated in those that had been gathered in these big clouds over the northern hemisphere for a couple of months. Those are all gone. We have been seeing, now this is at 500 HPA, there's been a new high reading over Kamchatka, Russia in the last few days, and there was a volcano that was erupting. I'm thinking it's from that, and now we're seeing another release up here. We'll look at that a little more in detail in a minute. Here is the East Tropic view, and so we can see this all of Asia and India and the Middle Eastern countries here, and all of Europe, and a lot of Russia in this view, and all of Indonesia, and they have a lot of volcanoes going off down here, and Australia, and also New Zealand and South Africa. This is always going off down here. I think this is an old volcano. Here it is at 500 HPA. Here's the Pacific view. We've been seeing good size releases here in Alaska. This is from the earthquakes, constant earthquakes there, and the volcanic activity. And now whatever is releasing over here, it was over Kamchatka earlier this week, like I said. Here we still have release from Hawaii because of the earthquakes and volcanoes. Here's Popocatépetl. It's constantly releasing. And now that those high levels of sulfur dioxide have dissipated, we can see the more subtle changes in sulfur dioxide, especially here off the coast of North America, where we're watching this Juan de Fuca plate and the Cascadia subduction zone, and we can see the subtle changes without all that red now. And so there is this cream colored, which is a higher level around this Vancouver Island region, and there wasn't a 4.7 earthquake up here today. And then down here on this western side of South America, this is all volcanic. These are volcanoes all along down here, and it's very highly active with earthquakes as well. Here's the 500 HPA reading. Here's the North Pole view. So let's zoom in a little bit here. So here is, this looks like a new release here over northern Russia. And like I said, since those big red clouds are gone, we can see the subtleties more. And here it is at 500 HPA. Let's zoom in and look at that area a little bit better. So that could be earthquake related. It's got the exclamation point signature, so we could be seeing an earthquake coming up here. The fault line runs right through there, so that could be from that plate movement. Here's the South Pole view. And here it is at 500 HPA. And my earthquakes didn't show up anyway. No, that's all my pictures, except for I had some earthquakes. Let's see. Let's get these. in Southern California, the Searles Valley Ridgecrest area, there were 31 here this morning out of 272 worldwide. Here, this is Svalbard and this is Greenland, and there was a 4.5 earthquake right here between Svalbard and Greenland, right next to the red line. This came in this morning just after midnight, 12:16 a.m. Pacific time. There, and here is the 4.7 off the coast of Vancouver Island, near Port Hardy, Canada. This came in last night at 9:46 p.m. Pacific time. So this is the Juan de Fuca plate here, and this is the Cascadia subduction zone. So we haven't seen a large one here in a few weeks. And that was the rest of my pictures. Now let's run the methane movie from CAMS for today. I have Sunday, May 10th loaded up. I have the Arctic view and surface level. There's our color ledger. So here's where it left off for Saturday, and we had been seeing some high release here at Severni Zemlya, and that had dissipated and moved out. So we're ready for another one, but fasten your seatbelt. You're going to be shocked at what you see tonight. And then high release off this northern coast of Alaska still. So here we go. So the data is from today, and then the forecast period runs Monday through Thursday. So look, as the week goes on, it's not stopping here. So by the end of Sunday, it's releasing. Here's Tuesday. There's a huge release on Tuesday, and then Thursday again. So I don't have any clue what is going on down there. I'm just waiting for some scientific paper to come out about what's going on up there off the coast of Severni Zemlya, because it's been doing that since January. We're also seeing release here in the North Pacific, and we saw release in the Bering Strait, and we're seeing it come back in southern Alaska as well. We've got some high releases up here in northern Russia, and down here that's kind of coming back. But in this area where we're seeing red on the 2-meter temperature anomaly, we're not seeing a lot of methane come up. This has been pretty quiet with methane, this whole area of Siberia. But they'll probably make up for it once summer hits. Okay, here's the North Pole view. Look at this high release coming off of France. Here's the UK. Here's Ireland. Here's Germany. Here's the Persian Gulf. Here's India. Here's China. See, look at these arms of methane move out in the Pacific Ocean. So we're seeing a definite decrease in methane over the mainland of China, in that it's, you know, it's not just filling up everything, but we are seeing it blossom out over the borders into the ocean here. And here in North America, even though it's cooler and colder than normal, it hasn't stopped the methane from coming up. And you can see very high releases. Now let's go to the global view. We can see New Zealand is coming back on the map with methane. And we can see it outlining Australia down here. And this release streaming out from South America, moving across, and also all around this western peninsula in the Antarctic. Look at that right there. So the sun's gone down, but we still have methane coming up. Now let's look at 500 HPA. So here you can see very dark area over China and very dark over the Arctic, just spreading out over the Arctic there, and very dark up here in United States and Canada region there. So that's not looking good. And now let's check out total column. So here is China and Japan and India. So those are very high over those countries. And then this cloud, it's very orangey, so it's going more towards red. A couple of days ago at total column, Florida was red, covered up in red and coming out. So I've never seen it like that. Now let's look at some earthquakes. So here on USGS we have 264 for the last 24 hours of all magnitudes. I already showed this is the one up by Svalbard of 4.5. This one just came in. 3.1 at Vatican City in Rome. Let's look at that. That came in at 8:03. It's 8:44 now. Look at that. Wow, it's on the land, 3.1. Now that probably shook him up. See, it's in the inner circle there. And 3.1 is probably not big enough to do any damage, but there might be more coming where that came from. Here in the Mediterranean, south of Greece, is a 4.4. This depth on this one at Vatican City, it says 10 kilometers, but that's like the default reading for USGS. Then over here is a 3.6 at Tajikistan, a 4.6 in Afghanistan, 204 kilometers deep, and a 4.7 at Aksu, China. That came in at 9:49 this morning. They had one there, I think yesterday too. Here in Japan, just off the coast, was a 5.8 near Oaraya, Japan. This came in at 4:58 p.m. this afternoon. 30 kilometers deep. Now, if that had been on land, that would have caused damage, but since it was in the ocean, it probably didn't. But I'll bet someone felt it. Here's a 4.6 near the Izu Islands, Japan. Down here in Indonesia, a 5.6 near Samlaki, Indonesia. There are two down here at Tonga and Fiji, a 4.6 near Nidoy Island, Fiji, 340 kilometers deep, very deep, and a 4.8 south of Tonga. Then Hawaii has 18 here today. Here's the largest dot at 3.4 at Pahala, 32 kilometers deep. So we've got, here's Mauna Loa up here, got a few up there, and a clustering down here at Pahala. And then here's a 2.5 in the ocean. Here in South America was a 5.5 near San Pedro de Atacama, Chile, 117 kilometers deep. Here's a 4.5 near Argelia, Colombia, 92 kilometers deep. Here at Puerto Rico, there are 8 here today. The largest one was at, let's see if that's the largest one. This is the most recent. It's a 3.1 near Maria Antonia, Puerto Rico. Oh, here's a 3.6. It's in the ocean there. Lots of 3s. In fact, one 2.9 and the rest are 3s. Here's a 3.5. So this magnitude down there seems to be getting larger. Now let's look at Alaska. They've got 46 here today, so the number has gone down significantly. Let's see what's 2.5 magnitude or higher here. 2, there was a 3.5 near Nikiski, and a 2.5 at Koktovik. And this one at Koktovik is 0 kilometer depth, so it was at the surface, so that's concerning. So the rest of these are under 2.5 magnitude, scattered around. That's kind of average. Now here in the lower 48, we've got 179 here today. Here is that 4.7 that I showed. See, here's the Juan de Fuca plate. It was just to the east of that. Let's start though over here. Tennessee, a 3.1 and a 2.8 right together here near Sewanee, Tennessee. Normally we don't see them that big there. Here's Oklahoma, they've got 2. Utah's quiet. Idaho has 2, well 3 it looks like. A 3.0 at Cascade and a second 3.0 at Cascade and a 2.9 at Soda Springs. Yeah, we got all magnitudes chosen. And that's it for the Yellowstone region. So that's quiet today. Now up here in the Pacific Northwest, besides that 4.7, there are 9 here today. So that's very active. So here's a 0.5 at Rockport, 2.7 Oak Harbor, that's getting up there, 1.4 Lowfall, 1.8 Snoqualmie, 0.6 near Buckley, 1.7 Intiot, 0.9 at Kelso. Here's a larger dot, a 2.3 at Glendale. So that's, and there's another one next to that one, a 0.8 at Glendale. So this is the border for Oregon. Oregon down here in Washington State up there. So that's getting up there, 2.3. Then coming on down, here's one in Northern California, 1.7 at Covelo. Here's one, 1.4 near Lovelock, Nevada. And then down here in the Mammoth region, there are 9 on the map here. They're 1s and under, so that's gone down a little bit. There's a few down here in southern Nevada, small ones. And then here's the Searles Valley Ridgecrest area. So tonight there are 35. there were 31 here this morning. So here it's spreading out. The movement is spreading out. There's a 2.4 at Shoshone. Then down here in Southern California, we've got 74. What's going on here? This is at Ocotillo Wells. There are 44 here. So it's swarming for whatever reason. Mainly in the 1s range, it looks like. There's a 2. Here's a 3.0. So that's concerning. There's some 2s. Here's a 4.5. That set all this off, it looks like. That came in at 3:07 this afternoon. And so all of these have happened since then. So less than 6 hours later, there have been 44. So something's going on there. Here's the Salton Sea, so you can see the movement all around here. This is the Anzo region, and then here's Los Angeles, only 1 over there. Then coming up, the San Andreas fault line. Here's a 1.5 at Huron, 2.5 New Idria, 2.2 Pinnacles, 1.7 Lexington Hills, 2.2 at Bay Point, and here at the geysers, there are 30 here today. So that's it. What's this one? 2.5 near Willow, Alaska just came in. Uh-oh. Look down here. 4.4 at Samlaki, Indonesia. That's where we had that other one. See? Now there's 2 there. Oops. I showed that one. That was the Vatican City one. So that's it on the earthquakes. And now, continuing reading, I'm presenting the prophetic books of the Bible, and I've already read all of Isaiah's 66 chapters, and we're on Jeremiah now, and tonight we're on Jeremiah chapter 31. This is kind of a long one. At the same time, saith the Lord, will I be the God of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Thus saith the Lord, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I went to cause him to rest. The Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore with loving kindness have I drawn thee. Again I will build thee, and thou shalt be built, O virgin of Israel. Thou shalt again be adorned with thy tabrets, and shalt go forth in the dances of them that make merry. Thou shalt yet plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria. The planters shall plant, and shall eat them as common things. For there shall be a day that the watchmen upon the Mount Ephraim shall cry, Arise ye, and let us go up to Zion, unto the Lord our God. For thus saith the Lord, Sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout among the people of the nations. Publish ye, praise ye, and say, O Lord, save thy people, the remnant of Israel. Behold, I will bring them forth, bring them from the north country, and gather them from the coasts of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame, the woman with child, and her that travaileth with child together. A great company shall return thither. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, He that scattered Israel will gather him, and keep him as a shepherd does his flock. For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob, and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. Therefore they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of the Lord, for wheat and for wine, and for oil, and for the young of the flock and of the herd. And their soul shall be as a watered garden, and they shall not sorrow any more at all. Then shall the virgin rejoice in the dance, both young men and old together. For I will turn their mourning into joy, and will comfort them, and make them rejoice from their sorrow. And I will satiate the soul of the priests with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Rahel, weeping for her children, refused to be comforted for her children, because they were not. Thus saith the Lord, refrain thy voice from weeping, and thine eyes from tears, for thy work shall be rewarded, saith the Lord. And they shall come again from the land of the enemy, and there is hope in thine end, saith the Lord, that thy children shall come again to their own border. I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself thus, Thou hast chastised me, and I was chastised, as a bullock unaccustomed to the yoke. Turn thou me, and I shall be turned, for thou art the Lord my God. Surely after that I was turned, I repented, and after that I was instructed. I smote upon my thigh. I was ashamed, yea, even confounded, because I did bear the reproach of my youth. Is Ephraim my dear son? Is he a pleasant child? For since I spake against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him, saith the Lord. Set thee up waymarks, make thee high heaps, set thine heart toward the highway, even the way which thou wentest. Turn again, O Virgin of Israel, turn again to these thy cities. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, As yet they shall use this speech in the land of Judah, and in the cities thereof, when I shall bring again their captivity. The Lord bless thee, O habitation of justice, and mountain of holiness. And there shall dwell in Judah itself, and in all the cities thereof together, husbandmen, and they that go forth with flocks. For I have satiated the weary soul, and I replenished every sorrowful soul. Upon this I awaked, and beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man, and with the seed of beast. And it shall come to pass, that like as I have watched over them, to pluck up, and to break down, and to throw down, and to destroy, and to afflict, so will I watch over them, to build and to plant, saith the Lord. In those days they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge. But every one shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel, and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the city shall be built to the Lord from the tower of Hananeel unto the gate of the corner, and the measuring line shall yet go forth over against it upon the hill Gareb, and shall encompass about to Goath, and the whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes, and all the fields unto the brook of Kidron, unto the corner of the horse gate toward the east, shall be holy unto the Lord. It shall not be plucked up, nor thrown down any more forever. Jeremiah chapter 31. So I think we need to keep our eyes on heaven, keep our heart on God and Jesus, and repent, and ask to be found worthy to be in the kingdom when it comes time. I'm praying for everybody. I think time is very short. So until next time, God bless you, go in peace, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.